a 5-bedroom penthouse covering almost 22,000 square feet on the iconic palm tree era has just sold for $500 million UAE dirhams. That's just over $136 million US, making it the most expensive property ever sold in Dubai, a record for one of the world's busiest luxury real estate markets. This penthouse is now the third most expensive in the world after the ones in Monaco and One Hyde Park in London. For my next guest, this is just one of many firsts in an extraordinary journey. Loai Al Fakir of Provident Estate, one of the largest real estate brokerages in Dubai, joins me today to talk about achieving the highest of highs in this very cutthroat industry. I'm Jeremy Savory. Welcome to the CEO Hacker Show, where we uncover the best success hacks from industry leaders around the world. Loai, good to see you again.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the invitation.
No, you're welcome. I want to talk in the beginning about how Loai started, how Provident has grown to be, how many brokers you now? 250?
Yeah, 250. Ultimately, the group is around 450 people.
450 people.
Yeah.
And the group is basically, you've got other pillars.
Auxiliary services companies. So we own also a mortgage company called Premier. We've got a holiday home company called Prime Stay. Prime Stay is actually the third largest holiday home company in Dubai. We manage over 780 properties. Wow. We also have under that Prime Cleaning. We service and clean all the properties that we manage. We also own a property management company. We have around 500 properties, 500 plus. We used to have a lot more, but a lot of clients have shifted from property management long-term to short-term. Yeah. So that number's been decreasing, the other number's been increasing. We also own a company called 811 Consultancy. We help people to set up companies, to do their VAT, their returns, to apply for their visas, all their, paperwork in order to move to Dubai or relocate to Dubai. It's another service for our real estate, because we see our clients come in and we service them from the whole A to Z journey.
You're always on the go. You're always looking at a new business. These are just the ones you've done. But I know how the
There's
time
many that none of them failed, right?
Yeah. And sometimes we have to share the failure as well, right? Okay, we don't want to talk about that too much. But the fact is, it's just like you're always on the lookout or always open to basically taking another risk, taking another 100%. Venture. And so obviously, those that have worked, you talk about them.
Yeah.
The other ones were basically the experiences and the mistakes that you learn from. But you started out, you grew up in Cyprus.
Yeah.
And then you studied in the UK. But I think this work ethic you've got started from a young age. Tell us about, how young were you when you started hustling?
I mean, it's probably, I would say it's from my dad. I got everything from my dad. My dad always pushed us. Even when I was young at school, I was working. Do you get what I mean? I bought my first bike myself. In the summer times, I was always working, like since I was 14 years old. So I think that was something my father entrenched in me and my brothers also. And, he was his own businessman. He had his own business. So I think I got that always when I was young. I always knew I would have my own business. Do you get what I mean? I didn't feel that I was going to work for him because I didn't really like what his business he was doing. But I knew I would do something similar to him, that I will be my own boss. Do you get what I mean? I always had that in me. So I started working when I was very young. I've worked in hotels. I've worked as a waiter. I've worked as a barman. I've worked in Cyprus in Limassol. We had that tourist district where, outside the bars as a promoter. Even when I went to university, and I was studying there, I did 2 jobs while I was at uni. So I had like 3 days of university. And then I used to work in the student bar in Kingston University. It was called Yellow Bar. And at the same time, I used to work for these guys in the US. I would go get the books. They would purchase books in the UK, and I would just make sure to store them in the warehouse and count them, make sure the right books have arrived, and then ship them to the US. Do you get what I mean? And I would do that, and I would do it on a bicycle. I used to drive to a warehouse for like an hour and make sure when the inventory came in, make sure it's the right stuff, make sure it goes in the warehouse, and then we ship it out. So I was doing 2 jobs at university. I mean, my father paid for my uni, I paid for my living expenses. Do you get what I mean? And when summer came around, I would go back to Cyprus, and guess what I would do? Work again. But I'll tell you something, I enjoyed it. Do you get what I mean? I got satisfaction out of that. I got a kick. It created something in my life. Do you get what I mean? So I wouldn't look back at it and go, what? I worked so hard. Yeah, I worked hard, but I enjoyed working. You get what I mean? You have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah. Here you are today, running this huge company. Now, me and my wife, so we have a small real estate division within our company, and it's clearly not at the same level as you, and it is not a prime business. It's just there to support our clients. But we often always say, like, how does Loai do it? How does Loai do it? Because you're essentially, if I've got this right, brokerages in the UAE, and not only in the UAE but around the world, they have a structure whereby each of the agents is essentially a freelancer.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're all self-employed. So being able to employ 100, 200, 300 self-employed persons.
Yeah.
How do you, corporate culture obviously springs to mind.
Yeah.
But you must deal with a lot of problems because they're aligned with you only 50-50, and some of them 60-40, 70-30. But that's a lot of headache. I think people see all the nice upside and like the glamour, beautiful houses, good commissions, but there's a lot of stress.
I mean, in our company, we're trying to build a culture of, the family, that we are there to help them. We provide a lot of training to our agents. We provide a lot of support for the agents. So we make them feel part of a culture and organization. And because we are also one of the top agencies in major developers and we're winning consistent awards, it gives that motivation and that where agents want to be part of something. However, you're totally correct regarding, the 50-50. Yeah, we get their visas, we train them, but most of them, the agents particularly, are on not a salary. So, it becomes like a conveyor belt business. You have these agents, they join you for a year or 2 or 3, they do very well, and then they move on to the next company. Or they don't stick to the, holding your brand up in a good way, in a sense. Like, they might do things to clients that they shouldn't be doing, to get morally not correct, or not servicing their clients because they feel, I'm going to move on in a year or 2. I don't really care. But as a company, we try to entrench that ethics into our brokers a lot. But when you're growing very, very fast and you've got a lot of brokers, you can't maintain or manage everyone as good as when you're a small mom and pop shop. So yeah, it is a struggle. You're always putting out fires every day. There's always a problem between colleagues or between clients. You're always getting a call from a client maybe complaining, or an agent complaining about another agent. These kind of things happen on a daily basis. We try to manage them as best as possible and as fair as we can. Even, like you're talking about clients, we get fights between brokers. They go, oh, no, he was my client. Now he's talking to him. He closed him. I want this percentage of commission. No, I want this. No, it's not fair. And I try to come in and try to make it as fair as possible. And sometimes I'll even remove some commission from the company and give it to them. And they still come out unhappy. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, what can I do to make you happy?
Yeah, exactly. And listen, growing up in Cyprus and doing all these restaurant jobs, everything, you would understand definitely that customer service, is just how important it is to you today. Because what you're trying to do is trying to make people happy all the time.
I mean, look, I always try not to compete in the market when we're recruiting people on commissions, on percentages. I'm always focused on what value as a company, one, we're giving to the agent, and what value we're giving to the clientele. That's why as a company, we offer a variety of services. So when a client comes to us, we're offering them holiday homes, property management, company setup, visas, management of property, selling of the property, buying of the property. So crypto exchange, money transfer. So we're offering a variety of services where the agent is benefiting and is already making more income than if he's working anywhere else. Because the competition, if you're going to compete on how much commission you're going to give the agent, it's a losing battle. You're never going to win that battle. So we kind of really invest in the agents, and we, as a company in Dubai, I mean, I like to say we're probably one of the highest expenditure in terms of marketing in the market. And we do really come up with creative campaigns, and we do have really strong relations with developers. We do sometimes get some preferred treatment, not always, but a lot of the time. So these are the benefits for the agents, and this is also benefits for the end user, the buyer. So for us, this is what we're competing on. I don't want to be competing on commission structures of agents. I'm competing on the service I provide to the clientele, and I'm competing for the agent, the services I'm providing the agent to be able to provide to the end user. And that's my business model. And that's why we have been successful in the market for such a long time. And we've been established since 2008 until today. We're one of the largest companies and still existence. In the market over here, you got these companies that open up 1, 2, 3 years, they close down. There's loads of them. How many agencies can you say in Dubai today have been around for 16 years? You can count them on your fingers, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the egos though? Right? Because this is the thing. The market is going up. So landlords, so property owners are getting happy. People who rent obviously are not so happy. But property prices going up, and brokers are saying to my investor, hey, look, listen, I sold you this house and you've made a return. So they're feeling that basically they're helping to make their clients wealthy. Meanwhile, they're making money. But the thing is, the demand for Dubai is basically making all these brokers start to think that they're the reason, that they are the people that are so amazing. I'm not wrong, because you know how many brokers think that they're the ones that did it. It's like, hold on, the market is coming up. You didn't particularly do anything other than the demand of Dubai.
Okay, you're right and wrong. I do see agents, we have to give them that too, is that we're marketeers. We're out there, we're ambassadors for UAE and Dubai. We're out there marketing it and talking about it all the time. So we are part of its success story. Of course, we're not the reason why it's success. We got to thank, the royal family, Sheikh Mohammed, the UAE, the president, and everyone, and the country and the government, and everyone else. There's a lot of people being involved in creating this great city. So, of course, the agents on themselves, but they have had a lot of influence in marketing. Because look, as a company, we spend a fortune on a monthly basis of marketing Dubai real estate. But also, while we're marketing real estate, what are we selling? We're selling, number one, the UAE and Dubai. So we're marketeers, we're their ambassadors. So this is why a lot of them will say, oh yeah, we were part of the success. We were. Of course, there is some involvement from us. I have to say that, I'm part of it, and I'm going to say, yeah, we are ambassadors for this. I think everyone has a little part of the success story. And at the same time, I'm grateful for being part of the story. Do you know what I mean? You can't forget that Dubai and the UAE has made me personally a success story, and my company. Listen, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
I feel exactly the same way. And that one, I give a lot of kudos to all the people that enact the vision that has been created. Now, but the thing is, I know guys that work for you. I know guys that used to work for you.
Yeah.
And one thing I've realized is that there's always those people who used to work for you going, oh, he said that, like you're just a broker or this type of stuff and this type of thing. And it's like, well, to be honest with you, there's always going to come a moment where you think your worth is here and his view is here, which is not dissimilar to any other company. It's not just in real estate. This type of thing happens where people who work in companies say, oh, I feel undervalued and I want to move on. But I noticed that in real estate, when the market is going up and people are making money and you see that you're the one that helped to make money, I take on board everything you said. But at the same time, you have to draw the line and just say, hey, listen, we're all benefiting for this.
Correct.
What is the role that you play? And am I playing some kind of role in this? Am I not investing in you? Am I not investing in
yes. Yeah.
So you probably have this conversation with a broker, I guarantee, like 3-4 times a day, every day.
It's a human nature, and I do have agents coming to me and telling me, I've had many times, a lot of our agents see a lot of value in the company. That's why they join us. That's why they stay with us. But yes, some agents come in and say, you know what? Majority of my transactions have been because of my networking, let's say. And some of it might be valid, but they forget that all the relations and the brand that, they've been associated with help them to be able to succeed. The training they're provided, the mentoring. I always say also my time. If they're coming and sit in my office and asking for my time and give them advice of my 18 years experience, that's value for me. They don't see it. They don't see also a lot of agents, and I'll give you a perfect conversation I had the other day with one of my brokers. So I had a broker, he's been with us for a couple of years. He did very well. He had an investor that came up to him, liked him, and told him, let's set up a company. So he went with his investor and set up a company. He came to my office and he's like, Loai, now I realize why there's a lot of decisions that you've taken that us in the office as brokers said, why did he take that decision? Now me being in your shoes, I can understand it, because agents, say you're in a 50-50 split with your agent, they see it that I'm pocketing 50%. They don't see, even though it's right in front of them, all these salaries of all these managers, the marketing team, the marketing budget, the big office Do you get what I mean? The drivers that take them around, the photographers, the videographers, the marketing team, the managers, the accountants, the licensing, the portals. It's endless.
Plus your time
And my time.
to fix the problems that constantly arrive.
Correct, exactly. And the networking and the negotiation and the building with the relations with the developers and the brand equity and all of that. They don't see it. They're blinded by it. They just see that you're taking 50% of their work. They think maybe you're spending 20, 30,000 dirhams a month. They don't know you're spending X thousands of times more than that. To get what I mean? They don't see it till they do their own business and they set up, then they realize it. I usually face this issue usually with new people that join real estate. People that are veterans in the industry understand it because they've seen it regularly. So they kind of understand it. Like I have agents that join, they become successful, and they go, oh, maybe the grass is greener on the other side. They go and join another company. A year later, they come and join us back, and they're like, sorry, man, you were great. I don't know what I did.
Did you take them back?
You know,
Sometimes.
Jeremy, sometimes I have. I've done it in the past a lot because of for my ego. Like, so I can go and say, you know what? Look, they came back. Do you get what I mean? See, I told you guys so. But, you know, sometimes when they go and come back, it doesn't always work. You have to be very, very careful with it. There are some great stories of people that come back, and there is a lot of not great stories that people come back. So I'm kind of like cautious about it. Like that guy when he left and set up his own company, by the way, he knows who he is right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, he's the,
You know what he said
he's
to
not
me?
the one that the one who told me was a she.
Yeah. You know what he said to me? He's like, if it doesn't work out, can I come back? He went and set up a company. And he goes to me, if it doesn't work out, can I come back? And I like him. But because he did it that way, I said, no, of course you can't. Do you get what I mean? Because you got to put some boundaries. You can't open the door. Because if I open the door and everyone thinks, you know what? Let me go try and come back.
You're not going to say, yeah, go and give it a go. And no problem. The door is always there for you. It's like, no, once you take that, if you really think it, go and take that. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And actually, talking about the she.
Listen, it's more than one, right? So don't go you know.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, don't worry. Look, it happens. There's always people who just think, you know what, I know better than this person. I'm going to do it. And as you said, most of the time they start to realize actually it's not as easy as it looked.
Yeah.
So today you're in all the papers because your company sold the most expensive penthouse in Dubai, the third most expensive around the world. How nervous were you in the last hours before getting that piece of paper signed? I
mean, look, it wasn't a transaction that happened in one day, to be honest.
Sure.
The agent that did it is Sam Horani in my office, is an associate partner, and I helped him. I worked on it with him, obviously. It took 3 months. Do you get what I mean? So we didn't really announce the transaction till 3 months after, when it was fully concluded and registered with the land department. Because you know what? We wanted to make sure that it was completed and done. We didn't want to call it and then something happens and then it just falls apart. So, you know, we were excited and happy when it happened, but we were only announced it and celebrated it once the transaction was registered in the land department 3 months later. So the transaction actually happened 3 months later. Do you get what I mean? And we waited for it. You know, I've been doing this for 18 years. I always say, don't count your eggs till they hatch.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah, and I tell that even to a lot of my brokers. They come, sometimes they celebrate deals. I'm like, okay, wait till it's transferred. A lot of things can go wrong. Don't celebrate. Don't talk about it. Don't do anything till it's fully, completely done.
And this transaction, would you say that's the pinnacle of your career?
I mean, look, I can't say that. It's an exciting one because it's the third most expensive penthouse or property apartment sold in the world. So it is very exciting for us to be labeled that. But I've worked on a lot of large things, Jeremy. Do you know? I mean, we launched the largest residential building in the world, Hub Tour Tower, which is worth 6 billion dirhams. In terms of size, in terms of value, it's one of the largest, and we launched that project. So that was a huge thing for me. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. That was in the press also. And we did some like really unique marketing on it. I don't know if you saw the video that went viral with the whales flying out of the canal and the helicopters picking up the veil. So that was great. We've done bigger transactions than 500 million also, don't forget. I mean, we sold buildings. I've sold buildings. I've sold a hospital. I've sold buildings. And even right now, we've finished the transaction of another hotel residential building, and their value is bigger.
Yeah.
But because that was a penthouse, it was unique.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've worked on a lot of major things in the past, obviously, and will continue to do so.
And what do you see is, people talk ad infinitum about why people are investing in Dubai. But if you had to sum it up, like 5 key reasons, I notice a lot of people since COVID have been turning up in Dubai. I meet people who's like, they just turned up here 2-3 years. So there's a lot of that net migration influx that's coming in. But what would you say are the key things that are making people,
Mate, I mean, it's simple. Lifestyle. When you come over here, the lifestyle that you're getting is non-comparable anywhere else in the world. One, lifestyle, safety, security. Do you know what I mean? These 3. Less taxes. Obviously now we have VAT, we've got corporate tax, but it's a lot less than anywhere else in the world. And you're living in a kind of a fusion of all these different nationalities. So you've got every nationality that lives in Dubai. Literally.
Yeah.
You can be in an Indian community, Arab community, British community, Australian community, Brazilian community, any community you want to be or you're part from and you want to be in it, they're here. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. What other city, it's like what America should have been, or could have been, or was, is Dubai in a city. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. USA is a very big place.
Monaco, Singapore spring to mind.
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely Monaco, Singapore spring to mind, but Monaco's like tiny. Monaco's the size of Dubai Marina in Dubai. Do you get what I mean? Singapore is beautiful. I haven't actually been. I'd love to go. Every time I have it in the books and I just don't manage to go, I want to go. But I just imagine Singapore just like a lot of skyscraper towers. While here you've got also, buildings, villas, communities.
Got more space.
Do you get what I mean? More space is a lot larger.
So you say you've always wanted to go, but you've never been. I always ask a lot of the guests about their travel hacks.
Yeah.
I would say your travel hack is not to leave your office too long. Yeah. Because I think that's one of the reasons you really try to minimize your trips away, because you've just got so many things going on and you need to be on the ground.
And that has been changing, Jeremy. Do you know what I mean? I used to travel a lot, but I used to do them very short, 3-4 days, maximum a week, because I had to come back. As we've grown and I've established and I've put the right management on board, sometimes you need to let go of things for it to even succeed even more. If you're always micromanaging everyone and being on top of them, they cannot find themselves. Yeah. So you need sometimes now lately, I've been going on longer vacations, and guess what? I come back and things are even better. Nice. Before, I used to get worried. Every time I travel, I'm going to come back with a mess. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. I come back, there's issues on the problems, fights with people, sales that haven't happened the way I wanted. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? And you get really annoyed and frustrated and you're trying to fix it and it takes you a month, 2 months to fix it. This has changed today. So actually, by letting go, because I found the right people. It's very important to have the right people around you. And I think, a lot of people go, I'm the success story. No, it's the people around you. Your team are people who bring you and make you. And I found the right people around me that I can really, I believe in them and they do the right things. And I feel today now I can go for longer periods of vacation where I can get more relaxed and feel better and more refreshed. I come back better energy. Do you get what I mean? Instead of rushing my little holiday trip, and you got the right people on board and they're running it. So, things have changed since.
And charting the course of, Loai, you started as a broker. You literally started as a broker. Yeah. And then here you are today running one of the largest brokerages in Dubai. What would be some of the key lessons you would have told yourself as a younger Loai that you've learned today?
I mean, every day is a lesson every month. When I started, I opened the company, I was 24 years old, Jeremy. So for me, it was hard. I didn't really work in a corporate environment. I worked all my life, but I didn't work in large organizations, in a proper structured organizations. You can say, even my dad's business, it wasn't a one-man show. Yeah, I can say it was his business. It was a one-man show business. He had people that worked for him, very minimal. And when I came over here, I worked for a small website agency called Cacti Media. Then I worked for a small real estate agency. Then I opened my company. So I didn't have that really corporate structured culture in me. So I had to learn everything the hard way. But the thing is, what was great is, besides being motivated and ambitious, I read a lot. I educated myself. And I always asked questions and I learned from other people. And people ask you need a mentor. I don't say one mentor. I have many mentors. And I learned from a lot of people. And I've even learned from you. I mean, how many times have I asked you questions about investment banking and stuff? Because you've done it before me and you've given me advice and I went and invested. And I learned from asking questions, other people questions. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, anything that you want to do, just do it. But obviously go and educate and learn things to do it right, obviously. Put a plan. Nothing ever goes 100% according to plan. There's always deviations, but that's okay. You come up with a business plan.
Mitigate the probability of something going wrong.
Correct.
Making sure before you take the step, you've done as much research as possible. I've got a friend of mine who opened up a real estate company.
Everyone's opening real estate company.
I know. I know.
Maybe I'll mentor you guys.
Even I did it, but I was like, hey, listen, man, I'm doing it. Yeah, all right, fine, no problem. But the thing is, like, he did it. He started his own business and he opened a real estate company without talking to two of his best friends. One of them had opened his own company successfully and the other one who had opened a real estate brokerage successfully, and didn't ask either of us until he'd done it.
Yeah.
And then he came to see us and told us, and we were both like, but why didn't you ask us? And I'm sure you could probably guess how that story ended. It didn't end well.
I mean, anyone that wants to open a real estate company, I advise you not to. No, it's a very tough business. And it's an ever-evolving business. There's a lot of money to be made, but you could be a broker and you can make money. And I always say brokers or agents working in an agency are a business. If you're in a 50-50% commission structure, I'm doing my share. I'm providing you the branding. I'm providing you the structure, the network, the training and all of that. You're going out, networking also, meeting clients, negotiating, getting more clients, getting referrals. So it's a partnership. Just like I go get my license from the government, I'm licensing you, Mr. Broker. You are a business partner with me. Me and you are partners. I'm partners with other people, 250 other people, and you. But your costs are a lot less. When the market goes down, who's going to cover all these expenses? Who's going to pay for all these salaries? Who's going to pay the VAT? Who's going to be paying the corporate tax? Who's going to be finding and recruiting the right people all the time? Recruiting people and then them not succeeding and not making any money and keeping all that cost going on. I'm going to be doing it. Why do you want to inherit this cost? And I'll be honest with you, there's some top brokers in the market and you know them. They didn't go up and set up a real estate company. They're still brokers. I have them in my office and they're the top brokers in the market. And I tell you something that's funny, Jeremy. Some of them have probably made more money than me, the owner of the company. So why would you want to go establish a real estate agency when you are a company within a company?
Definitely, I agree with you all the way. Now, you mentioned one thing, which is basically what happens when the market goes down.
I'm going to have to fit up the bill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of people now, when they talk about real estate, they talk about Dubai and they say, but what happens when the market goes down? I'm not going to ask you when you think the market is going to go down, because eventually it is going to be at some point. It's going to soften or it could be harder. We don't know. And nobody has a crystal ball. And anyone who does, it's just like when you ask people about who are in crypto.
Speculation,
Yeah, when you ask people in crypto, if they know what's happening, they don't know. Yeah. The real guys don't know.
He's lying when he tells you.
Exactly. So I think a lot of the common consensus right now is that if things are going to go down, it's going to be softer than it was before, mainly because of the residency implementation, the diversification, the new concepts that are coming in, the new ideas, so like gaming and crypto, and it's got to look at COP28 that we've got going on right now. It's now a global platform for business and for governments.
I mean, we can have an educated guess, Jeremy. Do you get what I mean? We're never going to know what's going on. I don't really foresee Dubai really having a crash today. I mean, I've experienced a 2008 crash because I lived through it. It was a struggle. But today, the real estate landscape and Dubai landscape is completely different than how it was before. It's much regulated. Even the developers, when they're launching projects, not all the money's going into an escrow account being utilized for the project itself. A lot of people have been moving to Dubai for multiple reasons. The people that are coming and buying properties over here, they're not using much leverage as they did in the past. A lot of it are cash buyers, and the supply and demand still hasn't matched. Is there going to be a correction? There's always going to be a correction, but I don't foresee a very big correction unless something drastic happens, right? At the same time, Dubai's been lucky. Every time there's a problem around the world, we've been benefiting. The Russian story that happened, we benefited from the war in the Ukraine. and other things that happen. Do you get what I mean? Oil prices are up again now. Do you get what I mean? Gold is up.
Yeah.
People are investing. You know, I was reading an article the other day. They announced that the Fed is going to start easing on interest rates. They're going to calm down and bring it lower. They said maybe four or six times in 2024, which is a positive sign for the world, not only for the UAE. Because what happens in the world is going to affect the UAE end of the day and Dubai market. But it's been positive. So I'm quite optimistic. We don't know what's going on. I predicted after COVID, we were going to, after COVID, by the way, when I was at home, I thought, you know what, I'm packing my bags and leaving this city. I ended up becoming even better and bigger and stronger and more sales than we've ever done before. And even last year, I was like, oh, okay, next year's going to get quieter. It was the best year I've ever had. And even 24, I'm like, you know what? I think 24 might be my best year, even better than 2023, which is me my best year of my career.
Actually, I saw a report. It came out from Savills. It was a residential report on the Dubai real estate market. It came out, I think they did a seminar or webinar on it a few days ago. And they mentioned that we're still not even in the middle of the cycle. Historically, they compared 3 different cycles in Dubai. So I think you're right. 2024 could still be going on and on.
I mean, I've seen the different reports. So I think today we are back to, I think, 2014 or 2015 peak. Do you get what I mean? We just are about to hit it.
So your highest high, you mentioned, wasn't the penthouse, right? You've had other highs because they just didn't get the public eye.
Yeah.
What's been your lowest low?
You know, let me go back about the highest high, Jeremy. The highest high for me, I'm the type of person, you know, when you get on the high, you want the next one. It's the journey to the high is the, you know, where the whole excitement is. It's not when you get on top, you're like, okay, that's it. It's getting there is the enjoyment part. Do you get what I mean? That's satisfaction part number one. The lowest low, Jeremy, I mean, I've had a lot of struggles. I remember for me, it's not a financial one. It's more about when I found out my father was sick, when he had cancer. At that time, he passed away in 2010, and I found out he had cancer in 2009. Only lived a year before he passed away. And that year was after the market crashed up 2008. So in a way, I wasn't doing well financially. I was living in my friend's maid's room, and I found out my father is sick, and he passed away after a year, and living through that. And that was a tough time, like working mentally, thinking about my father, my mentor, my everything I developed, everything I worked for was to show him I can do it, to please him, show him, look at your son, what he can do. Do you get what I mean? Because when I came to Dubai, he didn't support me financially. Do you get what I mean? So I wanted to show him, Dad, look what I can do. Do you get what I mean? He passed away. And that, for me, was one of the toughest times. Yes, I've had financial problems. I've had, you know, almost close to bankruptcies I've went to. But
2010, you was, you know, it was compounded. So obviously you've got your personal loss.
Correct.
And you've lost someone that played a key role in your formation and someone you always wanted to please. But you were also in the biggest funk of the real estate market in Dubai. Correct. I remember I've been here since the same then. So you had both at the same time. You must have that must have been pretty low.
I mean, it was pretty low. I mean, living in my friend's maid's apartment, and sometimes it wouldn't be in the house, and I would shower in the pool shower water and go to the office. Do you know what I mean? I remember that. I remember one time Diwa was switched off in the middle of summer, and we had the heat. And we had no electricity and water. And that's why I went to shower in the pool to go to work. I mean, but I don't look at them in lows. You know, these are the kind of things that build you your character. And, you know, when you reflect back at them, I appreciate every single moment. Of course, I don't appreciate my father being sick. I wish that never happened. I wish he's here today. I would love to see him today and make him proud. But these things build your character, right? All these ups and lows and challenges that you face. You know, if anything's just constant, then it's not fun, right? Or it's not, you don't learn from it. You learn from challenges. You learn from failures. This is what you learn from. And that's what builds character, makes you stronger, and you become better. You know, I used to always say to myself, you know something? I used to always say to myself, everything I used to do was a struggle. And I'm like, is God upset with me or damning me or challenging me on a regular basis? And there's this book by Ray Dalio. You've heard of Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater. Yeah. So in one of his books, I was listening to the audible, and he was talking about everything that he ever done was a challenge, and nothing was easy. And I'm like, that's me. And when he said it, it was like a fresh breath of fresh air. Is like, it's not only me, it's everyone. We all go through struggles. But the problem with people, we just see the success or the final results. I don't know what you've been through. Like when you see someone do something successful, you're like, yeah, he set up a company, started his business, became successful, and that's it. That's how you envision it. You don't know the sleepless nights he's had, or maybe he's eating a can of tuna or baked beans and toast to get where he is.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
or sleeping in the car. I know people, friends of mine, slept in the car. Great. I didn't sleep in the car, but I slept in the maid's room and showered outside. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's people with these kind of challenges, and there's a lot of them, and everyone's got their own story. Everyone has a story, and I get it from my agents. Sometimes my agents come to me and tell me about their challenges. I'm like, stop thinking about your challenges. You want to succeed, you got to step over it and move on. Because if every moment you're going to be doing something, thinking about your problems, you're never going to be successful.
Your challenges is just life. That's what it is. It's
Correct.
Just life. It's just life.
And it's a great thing that it, because, then life would be boring if we didn't go through it.
And we'd be we'd be we'd be terrible people because we just wouldn't know what a struggle was. We wouldn't know what a challenge
Jeremy,
was.
think about it like, if I just gave you now 1 million dirhams, okay, to go spend like a lottery, you're not going to really enjoy the money, are you? But if you work for that money, you're going to go spend it wisely and you're going to get satisfaction from it. And that's why the world's built the way it is, I guess.
There was also a story, I think, my editor told me, is there's something where someone took your business card and used it as a
Oh
ticket.
my God.
Tell us about that one.
Actually, that's when I first came to Dubai. I worked for a couple of months for my aunt. Actually, that's why I came to Dubai. So when I finished from university in the UK, I went back to Cyprus, worked for my dad for a couple of months. My uncle called me and he's like, why don't you come and work in Saudi? I'm like, Uncle, Saudi, I don't want to work. He's like, yeah, we got a branch office in Dubai. I'm like, Dubai, that's interesting. I went and spoke to my dad. He's like, if you go, I'm not going to help you. You're leaving the family business. I'm like, Dad, I really want to try. I've been hearing a lot about Dubai. That was 2004. So I got my Cypriot passport in 2004. 2005, I come visiting Dubai and I start working for a lighting company. So what we did, we supplied lighting. We would go and do designs for contractors. People were developing buildings. We'd go in, see what they wanted, and supply them with lighting of, what they needed. So I gave my business card to one guy, and he grabbed it. Contractor or the engineer or whatever he was. And while I'm talking to him, he used my business card as a toothpick. And I'm like, okay, great. I continued the meeting. I went home and I quit, and I'm like, I can't be doing this. I didn't go, get educated in the UK, work my life to, be talking to people that are using my business card as a toothpick. It just doesn't make sense. It's not the industry for me. Do you know what I mean? So I quit that immediately. But yeah, that's a funny story. I don't know where you heard that from.
I don't know. Like,
I don't
my
forget
research
it.
team, they do their job. That's good to hear. One thing I wanted to ask as well is, if you're a broker and you're in the market and you know so much about real estate and you know price per square foot in all these different places, where do you buy? Right? Because if you think about it, so many brokers are like, oh, I'm doing this. And then you'll go to many brokers and say, well, where's your house? Why didn't you invest? So people are going to say, right, all right, Loai, so if you know so much about the market and you got all this type of stuff, how have you invested your money in Dubai real estate yourself?
I've been buying properties in Dubai and I've tried everything. I own properties in downtown. I own properties on the Palm. I own properties in Emirates Living. We were just talking before, I just bought a villa in the Meadows.
We're neighbors now.
Yeah, exactly. I own properties in JVC. I own properties in Business Bay. So I've been investing myself in the Dubai real estate market. And I also set up a renovation company, interior design, where we renovate properties, we create themes, and we flip the properties. So I've been investing, but there's no one correct way of investing in Dubai. There's multiple ways. Do you get what I mean? And that's what makes also Dubai so dynamic. You can buy, from off-plan properties from developers. I'm not saying all off-plan properties are great investments.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's potential investment in off-plan properties. There's investment of properties in the secondary off-plan, soon to be handed over properties. You can buy a secondary property, furnish it and rent it out. You can refurbish it and sell it again. You can buy villas. And there's a lot of types of investments. I also bought a plot in Jebel Ali Hills. I bought a plot. I bought it for 140 dirhams a square foot a couple of months back. I've already been receiving offers of 200 plus dirhams a square foot. That's an investment. I don't intend to sell it yet because I still believe it will continue going up. I may build it and sell it as a villa. I haven't decided yet. I might do that. Refurbishment. So there's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of, underwriting, bulk buying, or buildings that you can buy, lease, do equity release, and buy more property. So there's a lot of different types of investment. There isn't one way or one structure. Do you get what I mean? What is your goal? Some people are just looking to make a 6% return per year. Buy the property, rent it long term. You want to make a bit higher, and you want the ease of selling it to exit, furnish it, get a company like Prime Estate to manage it, and lease it on a monthly basis, and sell it when you're ready to sell it. So there's a lot of investment. You've invested in commercial floor, and you're doing different things. Real estate is endless. There's so many opportunities to get involved in different things.
Have you ever been cheated?
Well, multiple times, man. Multiple times. Loads of times. I've been cheated by partners. I've been cheated by people I did business with. I've been cheated by my friend of 15 years. You know the story. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? We invested in some island restaurant and some land, and ended up being no land and no restaurant. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. I've invested in businesses that ended up being
not what they said they would be. Yeah.
Correct. But
but you keep doing it though, right? You keep, you're not afraid of taking more risks.
You got to. It's exciting getting involved in new ideas. You learn from them. You learn from your mistakes. You do them better. I remember even one of the things we did together, right? And you were doing more due diligence on it than I did.
Yeah, it's true.
And
for whatever good that did.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
But when I reflect back at it, I was like, I should have done what Jeremy did at that time. I should have looked at it a lot more. I shouldn't have been so lenient, because I thought my friend will not F me up.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And you were right. And maybe because you've experienced it in the past from your friends before, or people that you knew. So I've learned to do that more, do more due diligence.
Due diligence. Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. I've learned also, go with your gut instinct. You know what your gut instinct tells you first time? Like that first second is usually the right one. Do you get what I mean? But sometimes we convince ourselves, no, it's okay, let's do it, it's fine. But actually your gut instinct probably told you no in the beginning, and it was actually the correct one.
But the thing is, the gut instinct, if you're where you are today, clearly your gut instinct is a very powerful thing.
Correct.
Because you've done more, you've got more right than you got wrong. But the main thing is to do two in parallel. Yeah. You need to separate the heart from your head,
correct,
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the famous investor from the movie, it's what's it called? I think it's Oak Ridge Capital. Yeah, I think it's the Big Short. Yeah. That guy, his book is actually called Be Your Own Worst Enemy.
Yeah.
If you think about a tagline for investing, that is the tagline.
Yeah.
And that guy has clearly proven, he's a billionaire, and his book is called Be Your Own Worst Enemy. Because what you need to do is think differently to what your initial instinct says.
100%. But again, reflecting back at that comment, that guy who just shorted the market a couple of months ago, and he had to exit his trade because it was wrong, by the way. Yeah. So you can't get it right every time. So everyone makes mistakes. We learn from it. He was probably one of the biggest successful trader at the Big Short at the time, 2008, made more money than anyone else.
Yeah.
Now, I think he lost like $1 billion or something trade.
Yeah.
He was shorting the market, and it just continued going up. Maybe he's right. Who knows? But he missed that trade out. So we'll all make mistakes. We'll all learn from our mistakes, which is fine.
You just got to keep on going. Right? Yeah.
But not only gut instinct, by the way, Jeremy, what I was going to say is there's more to that. You got to try things. A lot of people are afraid to do things. And when you're afraid, and you're afraid of failure, then there's no way you're going to succeed. Do you get what I mean? And it's not just in starting businesses or doing things. It's in life in general. If you're afraid, and you're afraid from failure, you will never succeed. And I always say, the more failures you have, the closer you are to success.
That's a good tagline. That's a good motto.
You got to fail to succeed.
Yeah. No, and every entrepreneur that I've ever met has always said the same thing.
Yeah.
So if they're all saying the same thing, then clearly that's it. Just basically, it's how you react to the failure. How do you feel with the younger generation now, who we're talking about entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Every young person out there is, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. Like some of them, they just don't even go to university. YouTube influencers. They don't want to go to university.
Instagram
they don't want to school. Yeah. How do you feel about that whole thing?
I mean, look, it's a phase that we're all going through. There's always phases the whole world goes through. We got to be careful and filter out a lot of garbage. 95% of it is garbage. Like, and I've even fell for it. You know, you buy this course, they tell you become a Forex trader or a crypto trader. I mean, I've made money in crypto and I've lost a lot of money in crypto. Do you get what I mean? I followed a lot of these influencers where they tell you go buy now or buy this or buy that. I buy the next day it falls and I find out why it folded because he's a promoter. Do you get what I mean? And you have to be careful nowadays. If someone's selling you on something, a way to do it, or it's giving you a course, that if you're so great at trading Forex, trading crypto, or selling something online, or doing drop shipping, why are you teaching me? Why do you have to make money teaching me if you're so successful at doing it yourself? You gotta ask that question. So it means you're not. I am your client. You're selling me a product of success that actually doesn't exist. Do you get what I mean? And we gotta be careful from that. And I'll give you a perfect example of social media. And I don't want to say anyone. I met a friend. I bumped into him into the gym and I threw a joke at him. I'm like, man, you're living the life, the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the private jet. I was just messing around with him. And he looks at me, that was a couple of years back. Looks at me, he's like, Loai, man, I don't even have food to feed my family. I was like, sorry to hear that. Do you get what I mean? But it's all show.
Yeah.
He's showing everything.
Yeah, you can rent a car for the day and say it's your car. You can rent a house on Airbnb, say it's your house. You can rent clothes, watches.
I'm not saying they're all like that.
No.
A lot of them have made success, or they made success in something else, but they're selling you a product.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? They're selling you, I'll come and trade. If you're such a great trader, just focus on your trading. You're going to make more money. Why are you selling me how to trade Forex or crypto? Do you get what I mean? Also, this has been happening in the world of real estate. Not all of them. There are some great traders, I'm sure. There are some great agents also, but there's a lot of agents, like people that have been in the market for a few months, and I see it all the time. They're out in Dubai doing videos and promoting real estate and telling people how to invest. And I'm like, how can you teach someone how to invest? One, you've been in the market for a few months. You haven't invested yet in Dubai property market. And if you haven't invested, how can you tell someone to invest? You always got to put yourself in that shoe to learn things. And I remember also when I started in brokerage, I didn't buy a property, obviously. I was learning the industry. But when I bought a property myself, I learned the way, the process of the buyer, how he thinks, how he looks at things differently than an agent. Do you get what I mean? And we always have to put ourselves in the shoes of the clients and understand the way they're thinking.
Yeah. So what makes Loai happy? When are you your happiest? How do you spend your money?
I mean, you know, I love traveling. I often travel and it gives me time to reflect and see things. I love traveling to see countries, seeing different cultures, seeing different parts of the world. And it gives me time to reflect and clear my mind to think back at work. I love what I do. I love working. I love setting up businesses. I like growing businesses. I like to see other people successful. And succeed, people that are part of my organization. I like to see my friends successful with me. And of course, I love being around my family. Do you get what I mean? So it's a combination of a lot of these. I live today the lifestyle that I want. Do you get what I mean? I do the traveling. I'm helping people succeed. I'm building businesses. And I enjoy building businesses. For me, real estate or setting up a business is actually, we say I'm going to work. But for me, it's like I'm going to have fun. I enjoy doing it. And, you know, I get a lot of kick out of doing things.
But on another level, apart from holidays, cars, watches, I know you're a bit of a collector, so...
Yeah, I collect watches.
You showed me your collection earlier. You've got an app that shows you your collection?
Yeah, it's Chrono 24. Yeah, I keep maintaining, you know.
Yeah, but obviously you're down one. We'll talk about that another time. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in, let's say, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Like, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself doing the same thing, living the same life, or do you have other plans?
I mean, I have other plans. I love to diversify. Do you get what I mean? My core business will always be real estate. So something related to real estate. I have been investing in crypto myself. I'm exploring that. I'm actually exploring also AI. I do believe AI today is like the industrial revolution or the internet boom. I think it's going to change the world in the next 5 to 10 years that fast. So I'm trying to find something that I can do that's connected to AI. Do you get what I mean? or businesses or do something connected to that AI, internet, crypto, or whatever for the future. Do you get what I mean? I'm trying to find the next big thing. I do invest in different businesses. I have invested in prop tech companies. I have invested in tech companies in the past. Not all of them work, by the way. Majority of them fail. You got to give it a trial.
But that type of business, you're expecting a majority to fail,
correct?
Right?
It just takes one to succeed.
Exactly. What's your biggest regret?
I mean, it's very difficult. I have in the past said, I regret doing that. But everything that I've ever done, I've learned. It's made me who I am, and I've done better. Like, one time I merged my company into another group of companies, and then there was it was successful for like 2 years, and then the partners were fighting.
I remember this story. Yeah.
One broker group, and then we broke it up. And I had a lot of regrets because I lost a lot of money at that time. I was financially destroyed at that point when I got out of OBG and I had to set up Provident again. And I regret, but then I look back at it, and I was having this conversation with a friend about it. And I'm like, but I learned a lot. I learned from my ex-partners a lot. I learned how not to do things. I've learned how to improve things. And I made a lot of contacts. And even today, I'll be honest with you, I've reached to a level, even if you take all my money away from me and everything I have, take all my businesses, I'll be successful. I'll make it fast back because I know how to do it now. And I've got the network to do it. And I know how things are done. Do you get what I mean? Leave me alone. I can rebuild everything again. Of course, I'm not going to build a corporation like Provident because I have no interest to build a corporation 450 people anymore because it takes a toll on your health. You get what I mean? People take a toll. But establishing small businesses of like tech stuff won't take that toll as much as running a service business of 450 people. I wouldn't do that again. That's why I always say, don't set up a real estate company. It takes your health. It takes a toll on you. It's very stressful. Yes, it's financially rewarding, but it's like Hollywood. It doesn't make like anyone that sets up a real estate company is going to become successful. A very small percentage do, just like in everything else.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like my wife and I were just like, I don't know how you do it. Like, it's a lot. But going back to that OBG thing, I know why you did it. And I believe you would agree that given the chance, you would have made the same decision again, right?
Joe.
Because when you look at it from the outside, it's like, why wouldn't I do this? This is perfect sense. So I don't think you need to have any regret about doing it because in the end, it's like, it made perfect sense.
Exactly.
So there's no regrets.
Exactly. I mean, when I did it, I was like, you know what? We're going to create the biggest real estate brokerage agency in Dubai at that time. The people that were part of it were like veterans of the industry. We were all well experienced, well known in the market, and everyone was scared from us in the market at that time when we put it together. And they were like, "Wow, the biggest agency!" It all fell apart after 2 years. We made money, and then we lost everything we made, and on top of it, a lot of issues on it. But yeah. So it's not a regret. There's nothing really I regret. Like you can say a laugh joke about it and go, you know what? I wish I bought Bitcoin at $6. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish I kept my Ethereum when I bought it in 2017 and not sell it in 2018. Do you get? Because I had Ethereum at that time and I sold, and I was even mining it. And then I sold it because it dipped a little bit. But actually now I kept my crypto, even it's been dipping, I've been buying. I'm like, I'm not going to fall twice for the same mistake. Do you get what I mean? It might never come back, but now, we've been seeing it going up. It's been doing well. Let's hope it continues going up.
Okay. Do you have a routine at all?
I do, but not full routine because, like I like change. So yeah, in the morning, I try as much as I can lately to go to the gym. Do you get what I mean? Start my day early, go to the gym around, 7:38, get to the office around 9:30, start my meetings, have a meeting with my marketing team. Usually Mondays I have a full office meeting, then meet the marketing. Then I'll have a meeting with the directors on different days and developer visits and all that. So it is a routine, but I do shuffle it and add different things to it all the time. Do you get what I mean? And I randomly travel. I don't have like, what you can say to me, oh, you know what, in July I'll book this holiday trip. December I'm gonna be there. Usually most of my trips are like
a day before,
a week before sometimes. Do you get what I mean? Oh, okay, you know what, I'm going Zanzibar next week. We're in 2 days time. I might be traveling, by the way, just decided yesterday, and I might be traveling for New Year's Eve, and that happens rarely. That's how I do most of my travel.
Okay. 5 number ones. Top car.
I mean, I love my Urus Lamborghini. That's my top car. But top car in general, I mean, it's a dream of mine to have a Bugatti one day, which I'm planning to get. I'm sure I'll sorry and get it.
I'm sure you get it.
Yeah.
Top book.
Top book. Man, I read a lot of books. I love books. Top book, because I'm into business book. I'm into historical books. Do you get what I mean? So I'm into philosophy.
One was the most profound.
Profound. You know, one book that's interesting, I don't like saying, and I don't like people reading it, but there's a lot to learn from, 48 Laws of Power. Okay. By Green. Yeah, Green, yeah.
Top restaurants. Best you've ever been to in the world.
Okay, my favorite restaurant that I like is Koya in Monaco. Okay. It's really good. Good energy, good vibe, good food. It's one of my favorite. But in Dubai, we're very spoiled, by the way. There's so many restaurants over here. But top restaurant for me is Koya Monaco. I've been to it twice. Every time I've gone there, we had a blast. It's really great.
Top one in Dubai, Il Boro. Right?
El Boro's great.
That's why I saw you.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going now in about 10 minutes.
El Boro's great, yeah.
El Boro's very good.
Yeah.
The level of service, you can always tell how good a restaurant is by the number of waiting staff to the number of guests in the restaurant. The proportion of this, that gives you an indication of the quality.
Yeah.
Top holiday destination?
I mean, I love traveling, man, and really depending on what the mood is. I mean, I love London during the winter. Honestly, people hate it, but I like it. I like it during the Christmas. Yeah. Walking in central London and everything. Paris is a great city. I love Bali. Very picturesque. I love Zanzibar, how grounded you feel when you're over there. Do you get what I mean? I love Italy. Italy's my favorite country in the world. I love Italian food, but I love Greek food. I love the Mediterranean Sea. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. For me, Mediterranean Sea is probably the best sea in the world. You know, it's calmer, clean, beautiful. It
takes you back home, right?
Yeah, correct, because I grew up in Cyprus, yeah. So I don't know about top destination. Each one has a little touch. Even Japan, for me, Tokyo was a great experience. I love Tokyo, Japan,
I love that place.
Yeah.
Biggest role model or best role model within sport, business, philosophy, finance? Is there any role model where it's just like, if you could meet anyone? I
mean, there's bits and pieces of everyone, but for me, who I really like the way his lifestyle and the way he does his business is Richard Branson. Do you get what I mean? He loves to have fun, loves to travel, and he's a great investor. Do you get what I mean? And he finds companies and creates companies out of nothing and builds them up. Do you get what I mean? Like Virgin, you got Virgin Planes, Virgin Train,
Virgin Galactic,
Virgin
Brides. I think he did like
I think he did, but that failed. I think that failed.
Virgin Wines.
He's done it all. He's great. He's got his own island. This is something that I dream about one day, to have my own island and build it and have people visiting and, coming to you. So I would say him, but it's a combination of a lot of people. But Richard Branson probably is my style of entrepreneur, businessman that I want to be, where I reflect on.
Well, hopefully one day you get that Bugatti, your private island, and hopefully some little Loais running around.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Listen, Loai, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thanks so much, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.